Yoseph Haddad, shalom.
Hello, shalom, shalom.
Welcome to our studio. You are now also the author of Let Me Explain. This is the Hebrew version. I understand that the English language version is coming out.
Yep.
And when you look at the past more than a year already, the mission of explaining, as we call it, hasbara, is becoming more and more difficult, right?
Well, obviously, when you see the anti-Israel terror supporters, BDS supporters, they have budget, they have millions of dollars, and of course they're outnumbering us because they have also millions of people from the Arab world and from the Western world who came from the Middle East to the West. And obviously, because of that, we have a huge gap. Now, they prepared themselves for the Judgment Day, and the Judgment Day was the 7th of October, while we focused only on the ground. Military force, and we did not focus on the hasbara, on actually explaining what's going on. And today we understand that it goes together. It cannot go together. Now, by the way, the Arab world understood that they cannot defeat Israel militarily. They cannot. They cannot defeat the IDF. So that's why they focused their millions and millions of dollars and programs into the propaganda that they are using now, and they put their virus everywhere, in politics, in academics, in sport, television, everywhere, in the media. So basically they prepared themselves exactly to where we are, and that's why they are better than us. The only thing is, the difference between us, and that is the only advantage that we have on them, is that we have the truth backed up by the facts, and they lie. And every time we expose those lies, that's where we win.
So that's a question about winning. You said they're bigger, they're richer,
Yep.
And the truth is on our side. But some would say, so why? It's a lost cause. Why are you going into the academic institutes or institutions around the world? You know that they hate us. You know that they're not going to believe you, but you go anyhow. Why?
Let me give you a story. I came to speak in New York in front of 500 students, but there was a huge storm. So by the time I arrived to the auditorium, there were only 4 students left. The majority of them did not even came because of the storm. And the event organizer came to me and said, do you want to just call it off?
Cancel. Mm-hmm.
And I said, no. 4 people there, 4 students, I'm going to do a full lecture to them. I did not realize who I'm speaking to, yeah? At the end of the lecture, one of the students came to me and said, next week, there's supposed to be a resolution against Israel and to boycott Israel from this. I am the head of the student body, and I'm going to block it. And indeed, a week later, he blocked that resolution. 1 student, 1 big change. Every voice counts, and that's why I will fight for every voice. I hope I made myself clear.
Now, we're talking during days of the hostage deal, of course. We saw the price, we're seeing the price, but we also saw the pictures of the families getting their daughters back home, and we're going to see more pictures. Some will be difficult. How does the Arab world look at this? Because some feel that it's a surrender, that it's a terrible blow to Israel's strength in the world.
If we decimate Hamas, and if we make Gaza to a parking lot, and there will be left 1 terrorist from Hamas, 1, he will go up with this V sign and say, we won. This is Hamas. So I am not actually impressed by it. I know the reality and I know the truth, and I actually hear what the Arab world is saying, especially what the Gazans are saying. I just published a video where you have 2 Gazans, 2 Palestinians in Gaza talking to each other, and he goes, why we are trying to sugarcoat what's going on in Gaza? Why we are trying to pass a message, Hamas message, when we know that Gaza is completely ruined, when we know that we are decimated because of Hamas. And so there was a sort of a confrontation between them and said, shut up, don't talk like this. That video presents the reality and the truth. That's what Hamas is trying to hide. They lost. But do you know why they feel winning and why we feel like lost? It's not because we lost. Because we saw that our heroes, the IDF soldiers, they did absolutely everything to show the strength of Israel and show the strength of the IDF. And they fought bravery against a coward terrorist organization who hide like rats under the ground. But we feel like this because for us, we pressure and we value life. And even if 1 Israeli was kidnapped or 1 Israeli was killed during the 7th of October, or 1 Israeli soldier fell in battle, for us, it's the whole world. And that's why we feel like this. But while the Palestinians lost 40,000 plus people because of Hamas, and they still go and celebrate, you know what? Shame on them. They can do that to try to, manipulate the world. But deep inside them, they know that they lost, and they lost big time. And as for the Arab world, I'll tell you what a Syrian person told me when he sent me a message and says, please, do not attack us. We don't want to happen what happened in Gaza. We are afraid of you.
Now, today we're hearing about the operation, the IDF operation in Jenin. The front is moving to Judea and Samaria. The IDF says this, and also the Hamas is saying this.
Yeah, Abu Ubaidah, the spokesperson, the rat spokesperson of poison is actually a better definition to say that. He spoke and he said that now the battle should be moved from Gaza to Judea and Samaria. Now, let me tell you something. I also have a video of a Palestinian from Gaza addressing the Palestinian people in Judea and Samaria, and he said to them, please do not believe what Al Jazeera channel is telling you. We are decimated, we are ruined. Hamas brought upon us a total destruction. So do not follow what Al Jazeera is saying. Do not believe what Hamas is saying. Please do not engage in a fight. So let me be clear about that to each and every Palestinian in Judea and Samaria. If you don't want to see Jenin and Ramallah become Jabalia and Khan Yunis, do not fight.
Last but not least, Donald Trump came back to the White House. How do you see this? What is the significance in terms of how you see it?
You can definitely see by the people who chose to be in his administration. I mean, all of them are Zionists, actually. Zionists, proper Zionists. Speaking better than a lot of Israeli Jews here, honestly. And I think that Donald Trump is a businessman, so you never know exactly where he can go. But definitely we cannot take that the fact that he loves Israel and he wants to see Israel secure.
But coming from your standpoint, do you feel that he understands the Arab world?
Of course. You know, one time an Emirati said to me something very interesting about the comparison between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. He said the Arab world loved Barack Obama, but did not respect him. The Arab world hate Donald Trump, but they're afraid of him, and that's why they respect him. I think that sums it up.
And that bring him also to more of the Abraham Accords.
Of course, absolutely. From the power, from that strength and respect, you can do that. This is something that I'm trying to also pass to the mentality here in Israel, to understand that we are a Western country, but we are a Western country with Western values in the Middle East. And if we do not know how to balance between those two things, we do not have the right to exist here. And that's why we must understand, if we want to be part of the Middle East, we need to speak to our enemies in the language of the Middle East.
Yoseph Haddad, thank you very much. Thank you for coming to our studio.
Shukran, Habibi.